Hey everybody, this is a trades video. I'm going to be showing the things that I have available for trade. You're going to see a couple of new things and a lot of stuff I've already shown you because I simply haven't found many things offered to me that I actually needed. And of course, I have a lot of new subscribers, so this will give other people opportunity to see, the things that I might have had up before that I took down, and of course, no one's seen them in a while. But I'll be very happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm completely upfront and honest about the conditions and working conditions of the items that I sell. So without further delay, let's start out with my first available trade package. It's going to be a Nintendo GameCube with power supply, AV, black controller, it's all black, and memory card, and I'll be throwing in at least one game with it, depending on what it is. GameCube is in, I would say, fair condition. It doesn't have any real structure damage, but it does need a really good cleaning because whoever had it did not take care of it. So the buttons are a little slightly sticky, like the pop open button is slightly sticky. I'm upfront about that. It's not that it doesn't work, it's just not perfect. It's not as good as the one that I use. But it does work fine, reads discs fine, powers up fine. That's all good. So I have this, and may come with a game. I have to think about which one I'd be willing to part with. But that's the first thing I have. Next up is a boxed red N64 controller. As I pop open so I can show the flavor, you can see the red controller is in good condition. A little dirty in places, but these controllers tend to hold dust in certain areas that even if you clean it, it tends to pop back up. I usually dismantle these and thoroughly clean them with like a degreaser. This one I didn't bother doing because it's so tedious, and it didn't really require it. There's no bundled paperwork, it's just the inner carton piece that you mount the controller in before you slide it in, controller, and the box. So there's that. Put this over here. Next up, we have a whole slew of Nintendo 64 stuff, which I've shown you this before, but again, depends on what people need. A lot of times they'll mention that they want things and they never follow through with them. That's cool, whatever's the case. I have 4 Atomic Purple controllers, all in good working condition. Only one of them had to have a cord replaced by another dark purple controller, so the end piece is slightly different color. But other than that, these are awesome controllers. Not the rarest color, but these go for $12 to $15 a piece on eBay. And I want to state clearly now, I trade for value, okay? I'm not going to trade you a $30 cart for a $5 cart, okay? And I expect that people that collect video games know what their games are worth. No offense, but I had a discussion with somebody in an email about this, and we're kind of on the same page. A lot of times people forget. Gamers realize what their stuff is worth, okay? Gamers know what they can sell it for. They realize what other people are willing to pay. So even though, yeah, I'm all about community and helping people out, I'm also not going to give away something and trade up for something of a lesser value. If you want a $30 game and you want to trade me a $15 cart, you need to throw in another $15 cart. It just makes sense. It's tit for tat. That sounds gross. But anyway, here's these controllers. I have 2 dark blue Nintendo 64 controllers. By the way, all of these controllers have strong toggles. 2 dark blue Nintendo 64 controllers. In great condition, actually. Slightly dusty occasionally in certain places, but again, they collect dust. I have 1 dark purple clear controller. Get better light here. Strong toggle. This is in very good condition. This is probably this doesn't even have a wiggle to it barely. You have to wiggle it. So this is probably one of the closest to brand new controllers I've ever had. It's in perfect condition. Cord looks great. Buttons all look very bright and clean. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. We also have a dark green Nintendo 64 controller. Strong toggle, good buttons, nothing sticky. Excelente. Okay, I have an extra GameCube power supply in case you need one. I know people find the systems all the time, but might not find the power supplies. So whenever I find them at a flea market or a swap meet or garage sale, I'll pick them up. So I have an extra one here. Works great. I have still two Super Nintendo power supplies, official Nintendo brand. Both working, both in good condition. I have a standard, and this isn't incredibly valuable, but people do need these occasionally. I have a standard composite, not component, because component's red, blue, and green. This is a composite left-right audio and video for the PS1, PS2, PS3. Good condition, and if you need it, let me know. I have two Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, GameCube AVs. Both look great, both work great. And last but not least, two working deck only, no power supply, Nintendo 64 decks. This one comes with no jumper at all, so if you were just looking to buy an extra expansion, this would be a good deck to have, especially if you have an extra power supply laying around. Because you find this from time to time. Just a little bit of sticker residue that I haven't bothered to get off yet because it really needs to be cleaned up. The deck is not perfect. It's definitely a deck to play, not collect. It has some scuffing here and there. No broken parts. It does have the rubber feet missing on the back, and someone had added extra rubber feet in the front that I gotten off, but there's still some residue there. But all in all, very usable. The controller ports aren't broken off, what have you. And this one does have one of the black jumper packs, and it's in better condition than this one. It does have a piece of something inside, not broken, but the guy who sold it to me said there was a piece of plastic or something in here that he could never get out, and I don't have the hex screwdriver right now to get that piece of plastic out. Doesn't affect the gameplay. Thing works perfectly. There's just a piece of plastic in there. I think he said his kid dropped it in and couldn't get it back out. But actually it's, cosmetically not in bad shape. I'd be proud to play it. Okay, now getting away from accessories, I have games available. First up, I have two Super Mario World SNES carts. Both are in good condition. One has a little bit of roll up, which I call it. It's not tear, it's where the label starts coming up and is rolling inward. It's got a little bit of roll up on the bottom corner, a little bit of fading on the label, but otherwise not a bad condition cart. I'd say it's in good, not very good condition. But see, I'm very picky, so you might consider this very good. A little bit of staining on the back that I could not remove with the magic eraser. That's okay. You can see it under the label there, but all in all, very playable, still collectible. This one's in slightly better condition, still fading on the front label. A lot less discoloration on the cart, but very clean nonetheless, very playable. Next I have a Super Mario All-Stars cart. I actually have one of these already in my collection, so I don't need it. And very collectible condition, a little bit of discoloration on the cart. Doesn't appear to be from smoke, so it could be from just sitting on a table or maybe sitting somewhere near a light, which caused some darkening of the plastic, but the label's still very good, a little bit of discoloration, but, these carts, if you can find them in this good a condition still, I'm happy, as long as they're not torn up. Next up, I still have Phantasy Star 2 and Phantasy Star 4 for the Sega Genesis. Haven't traded these off yet. Not a big RPG fan, so I'll just get this out in the open now. If you have an RPG, God bless you. I guess they're awesome games. I have never been interested in them. I'm not really into fantasy games as much as I am platformers and adventure and what have you, whatever. I, of course, don't mind RPGs. I just have never really gotten into them. So when I get them, I don't really need them, and I don't want them for trades. So pretty much anything RPG-ish, including Zelda, Legend of Zelda, Link games, really don't care. It's nothing personal. It's just my preference. Some people there's people out there that they play nothing but Madden and NBA games, and I won't criticize them, but that's what they like, and they stick to that. So, that being said, I will, be a little more detailed about what I do and don't want, in case anybody wants this stuff. Not to say you do, but if you do, good. If not, whatever. So those are there, and there they are. Next up, I have in very good condition for the Nintendo Game Boy. It is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. It's in very good condition. Comes with original Nintendo plastic protective case. Works great. I played this a little bit. Again, not really a fan of the Zelda series. I know a lot of people like it. Personally, not my thing. Next up, we have Pokemon Puzzle League for the Nintendo 64. It is in good to almost very good condition, probably just good condition. Card is clean. I did extra clean it with a magic eraser to make it nice and bright again. So it looks good. Label's in decent shape. No tearing, just a little dent over here that almost looks like a crack, but it's I don't know, maybe a bubble. But anyway, not bad shape. Next up, the Aiden Chronicles, the First Mage. This is an RPG title, I believe, for the Nintendo 64. This is the rarer black card edition. There's two. I don't know if the black card has expanded memory or something, but there must be a reason they had two different versions. Maybe one was special. I don't know. You may know. Here's this. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Got this cleaned up very nicely. Still has a little bit of sticker residue on the back label from another sticker that was on top. I don't feel like tearing this label to get it off, so I just left it. Beyond that, it actually cleaned up very nicely. It's now pretty good looking compared to how it was. Still not perfect. But yeah, this was a Blockbuster only Nintendo 64 title. You could only get this at Blockbuster back in the day, so that's why you don't see these around too often. People know this more for the PC version, I think. So here's this. Got some NES carts. We have the original Super Mario Bros. Cart, not the Duck Hunt bundled, but the original. It's actually in collectible condition, very nice. Very clean, connectors look clean. Of course, they always need a cleaning, but they're not super corroded. They just are dirty. So there's that. Next up, a fair condition Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. Label is got most of the plastic seal coming off, so it's just the paper underneath up here, and then the bottom half looks a lot brighter, as you can see. The card is itself in fair condition. This would be just, of course, for someone to play if you wanted the original 3 on the original system it was meant to be played on. Here it is. We also have a collectible condition, Gauntlet 2 for the NES. This is not an incredibly valuable game, but it is in really good shape, and of course I'm sure there's people out there who don't have this in their collection, so here it is. Next up, a few more things. I have the Spider-Man Friend or Foe for PS2 thrown in. It's actually not a bad game. It just didn't hold my attention long enough for me to finish it, so I decided to pass it on to someone who might enjoy it. It's actually one of the better of the newer PS2 games. That's not necessarily your standard. It's more of a co-op beat-em-up. It's actually quite fun, though. I liked it. Like I said, it didn't have enough to keep my attention for so long. The disc does have some scratches on it, but it plays fine. I wouldn't bother to have it resurfaced because it plays great. It just has those light scratches that do affect, cosmetic look, but of course it's not playability. Had no problem ever with freezing or skipping. Always fired up fine. So here's that. Okay, I have, again, not to beat a dead horse, but I decided to take these down off of eBay because I only sold them every once in a while to collectors, and I don't mess with eBay anymore. It's just too frustrating. But here's my Sega Master System games, again, the ones I have left. Shinobi Complete. It has a little bit of wear and tear. It's missing the top hang tag. It is, son of a bee. It is complete, though. Cart is in fair but worn shape, has a little bit of fading here on the crease of the label. Booklet's not perfect. This is by no means super collectible condition, but if you like Shinobi, like I do, you might enjoy it. We have a collectible condition Rampage, again, for the Master System. It's complete. Booklet has a lot of wear and tear on it, but the cart's actually very clean compared to most I've seen. It still has some wear. This edge, they made these stickers very thin, and of course they fold them over the edge, so this you almost always see this whited out because it's worn. But other than that, it's still in very good shape. I would be proud to have this on a shelf. We have Miracle Warriors, Seal of the Dark Lord, complete. It's an RPG from the early days of the RPGs, and apparently this is fairly collectible. Goes for a considerable amount on eBay, and couldn't surprise nobody bought this. I really was. I think Master System has a very limited crowd who's really interested in those games, so I know that's who you usually expect to grab them up. It's just the collectors. And then I have Alien Syndrome, which is perfect, like factory perfect. Hang tag, book, everything's like the poster. Like nobody bothered this game. It's great. Cart looks beautiful. And last but not least, Rambo First Blood Part 2. Decent shape, not great. Has some dents and some... It looks like a dog might have bit around the edge of the case. Oh, bad puppies. But anyway, hang tag's broken. Oh, good grief. Man, these cases. It is complete. Booklet has a little dog earring on the edges. Cart is normal wear. Still a cool game to have. Rambo 2, again, is more of a collectible title because it's one of the ones that are harder to find. But again, there's that. We have a boxed Clay Fighter for the Sega Genesis. It is complete, and it's the cardboard boxed versions of the newer ones that came out. But it's like pretty much like brand new. The cart's perfect, booklet's perfect. This was part of a collection that I bought from somebody. They just kind of sat on the shelf. So there's that. I have still have the slightly incomplete, missing the instruction manual, Naruto Rise of a Ninja for the 360. Disc has some scratches on it, but the guy I bought it from said it works just fine, and he just didn't play it. So if anyone wants this, let me know. And then last but not least, 2 Zelda, brand new, still sealed, Spirit Tracks strategy guides. And that wraps it up. That's what I have right now. Sorry there's not more games. Frankly, I kind of downsized a few months ago, and the ones I have left are pretty much, they're mine. I want to keep them. You know what I mean? I'm always finding more games. It's just been kind of a drought lately because it's summer and everybody's out garage sailing. So there's a lot of competition in my area for things. And I'm not like you guys down south and in the Southwest where Goodwill has all those spoils. They don't put stuff like that out at our Goodwills. You don't even see PS2 games. You see nothing. Zip. They take everything and they throw it on their auction site, shopgoodwill.com. So they kind of screw us up here, which is terrible. But you can't really complain because that's capitalism. I don't know. Okay. So let me know what you have. If you want any of this stuff, give me a holler back, y'all. This is pretty much everything I have to trade right now. The only other thing I do have is a large collection of Legos, which I know some people are into those, or maybe have a kid that would be. If you would be interested in those, I can do a video just for you about those and show you what I have. Let me know, and I'll see you next time.